It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 142. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. We're talking Golden Gopher football this week, and we couldn't be more excited to have our guest, the all-world freshman star, Koi Perich. He's done a little bit of everything for the Gophers so far this season. The defensive back and return specialist from Esko has electrified the Gopher faithful, and we'll hear from him and learn more about him on this week's Go Gopher Podcast. The Go Gopher Podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union is also a big sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast. Life math is complicated, and Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union makes it easier with local financial experts available to help in person or virtually. You can go to affinityplus.org/GoGophers for more info, and we want to thank Affinity Plus for sponsoring our player profile segment with today's guest, Koi Perich. Koi will receive a gift card for his appearance today, courtesy of Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. They are the best. Longtime Gopher sports supporter, Cub is a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast. In a hurry? Don't worry. Cub delivers. Get fresh meat, produce, everyday essentials, and more delivered to your door. Cub is the official grocer of the Golden Gophers and proud to support Gopher athletics for over 20 years. We're podcasting episode 142 from the Aquarius Home Services studios. We invite you to subscribe to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. In fact, you can go back and listen to previous episodes. Last week, for example, we talked with former Gopher star pitcher Glenn Perkins about the Twins season, the Gopher baseball program, former head coach John Anderson, new head coach Ty McDevitt, and Glenn's career as a broadcaster. Go back and have a listen. Glenn was fantastic. It is worth the listen. This week, we're talking Gopher football with one of the stars of last week's big win. They beat nationally ranked USC, and freshman star Koi Perich will join me next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
When we say that Cub milk is the freshest in town, we mean it. Less than 48 hours from farm to store fresh. We guarantee 7 days or more of freshness. It all starts with local dairy farmers who take great care in making sure all the cows are happy and healthy. We support local farm families 365 days a year. And that makes our milk even more delicious. So you always get the freshest milk and the biggest smiles.
It's episode 142, the Go Gopher Podcast, and we have the man of the hour, the National Freshman of the Week, Golden Gopher football player Koi Perich of Esko, Minnesota. And welcome to the podcast, Koi. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, welcome. Great time to be here.
What was that like last Saturday night at Huntington Bank Stadium?
You know, when the field rushed and everybody was on that field, I mean, one of the coolest moments of my life, and I'll continue to say that. I mean, just seeing everybody from the stands just come on, wave by wave, that was absurd. It was awesome.
You're a guy who, of course, is from Minnesota. That's been well documented. So now you're, in the infancy of your career, and you've already had this moment where you come up with the game-sealing interception. The student section has put you up on their shoulders. What has this been like for you? Has it been a whirlwind? Have you been able to soak it in? Have you been able to take in the moment? How would you explain that?
Yeah, I think I would just been able to soak it all in. I mean, I think that's what I really focus on, because you got to enjoy these moments in your life. You only get so many, and I feel like if you don't just enjoy the process of it, you're just result-orientated, and you're not gonna enjoy your life.
Yeah, and at some point, the enjoyment and I know you're a kid with confidence. So when you expect good things to happen, and they do, that's when you got to enjoy them, right? Because there will be at some point a disappointment, and that stinks. So when good things happen, you got to certainly soak that in.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I take a priority, like every game, just have a couple moments just to soak in and keep that in my memory. Just to look around the stands, just see everybody watching it, because it's a cool spot.
Yeah. Does that at the end of the day, and we'll get into this more, but you think about that moment the other night, does that kind of just hammer home what it meant to you to stay home and then kind of have that hero's welcome, so to speak, after the game?
I thought it was pretty cool. I wouldn't really say hero's welcome. I thought anybody who would make the game winning play would get that. But I think it does mean a little more than I am from home, and I thought that was really cool.
So walk us through the play. It's you're up 7. They have a little crossing pattern that they do get out of bounds on, so they get it advanced enough to where the kid can throw it into the end zone, Miller Moss. And so now, with 15 seconds left, they may have 1 or 2 plays, 1 or 2 chances. So what is your responsibility, and how did it all unfold for you to end up with the ball in your hands?
Yeah, I was playing a 2-high safety look, and I saw that their number 3 wide receiver, number 2, he's their 6'6" guy. He was just streaking down the middle of the field, and I saw he had kind of a step on AG, and then Miller Moss was just looking right at him. I mean, he's 6'6", why not throw it up? So just go, at the end of the day, you got to go make a play. Saw the ball in there.
Yeah. Did you think, okay, he's 6'6", this is the likely red zone target? Do you think like that as you're standing, where you were about the 6-yard line when the play started? You're scanning the field and you see their formations. Are you thinking it's likely that that's going to be there, or do you just scan the whole play and as it unfolds, play center field and be where you need to be?
No, I knew, in the back of my mind, I knew that number 2 or number 8 were going to get the ball. I mean, that's been his goal too. It's pretty much the whole year so far this year. And he threw it to number 2.
And what's your vertical?
40.
40. Do you think you got all 40 on that jump?
I can get a little more.
A little extra juice, right? So you're up, you see the ball. There's other hands there, including the receivers. So walk me through. To finish that is, I think, an underrated part of the play. Like, you're up there, you're getting kind of flipped, right? You're somersaulting, you're landing kind of on your shoulder and your elbow. It's not finished until you complete the act of the catch. So walk me through that part of it to make sure that you hung on.
Yeah, honestly, it was just instincts. Like, I only remember looking towards the ground. I don't even remember tucking it, but every day after practice, I catch a lot of footballs off the jug machines and catch it, tuck. So it's basically just natural instinct. Whenever I have the ball, just tug it. And that's what happened on the way down.
That was it. And then you hop up, your teammates are there, the student section, it's on that end. That's their end zone to protect, so to speak, along with you guys, of course. What's the emotion like then?
It was insane. I just remember looking into the sea of the student section and just everybody just screaming their minds out. It was super cool. I just had my 2 teammates right next to me. That was super awesome.
Yeah, under the lights. Now, you, of course, are from Esko. We talked about that. I'm sure you played in front of some big crowds, relatively speaking, at Esko when you guys had some of those great state tournament teams. But what was this like when you got 50,000 roaring for a play that you made?
Yeah, so I would say the Esko Stadium was you could probably fit 1,000 people there. So
yeah.
We don't get a ton of people. I mean, we get our town shows out. Esko does show out, but I mean, you're representing the whole state with the Gophers, so just being able to play in a sold-out stadium every time shows the true commitment of our fans and how diehard they are, which is awesome. And it was an atmosphere.
Yeah, and like I said, the confidence, you can see that you're a confident player. You're seeking out the play. You want to put a hit on a guy. You want to have your hands on the football. Has that always been a natural thing for you to be in the middle of it?
Yeah, it's been starting since my Pop Warner days. I mean, it's always get the ball on the ground as fast as possible. No matter who has it, no matter how big he is, there's always a technique that you can go by and use the tackling system, get him down. Yeah.
Make the play. What? Where do you think that confidence comes from? I mean, at what point did you realize maybe like, all right, one, I'm pretty good at this, and two, I should feel good about how I'm playing?
Yeah, and again, just back to Pop Warner. I mean, I'd just be able to run around those kids at those age, and I'd just be able to continue that all throughout middle school and high school. I think if you don't have confidence in your life, you're never going to be a good athlete. And in anything I do, I always think I have the most confidence, and I always think that I'm the best at it. You can say that's cocky, but I think that's confident.
Yeah, and you got to have some of that if you're going to be successful. And as a freshman, because we've watched it, freshmen have come in. There's been some that have come in and had to redshirt. There's been some that have come in and been pretty good. There's some that have been highly regarded and have had to make an adjustment. Others have been good from the start. For you, what was your expectation in terms of the transition? And then how has that compared to the actual way it's unfolded for you here?
I knew it was going to be hard. I mean, obviously, I played in a lower level division, and just be able to go against Big Ten competition day in and day out. I didn't start off the best, I think, in my opinion, but as I adapted to the speed of it and everything slowed down, it's been getting a lot easier, but I have a ton still more to learn, and I'm eager to keep learning because I feel like I have so many good coaches around me that are able to help me so much. Just be able to eat up what they got to teach me.
Yeah,
is crucial.
When you talked about maybe you didn't, when you first got here, you didn't perform as well as you wanted. I'm assuming maybe in summer workouts and then early in the fall camp. How do you then go through that and maintain the confidence and the hope and look, I can play here?
Well, I always knew I was good enough. I knew it was just a hiccup in my speed, and it was gonna come back either way. Just get comfortable and just be able to adapt. I mean, if you're a football player, you're a football player at the end of the day. So.
Yeah. So doubt never crept in. You were always confident. It was just a matter of getting to where you needed to be mentally right.
Yeah, doubt will never. I'm always confident, no matter where I go. I could play tennis and go be confident.
Are you pretty good at tennis?
Oh, I've never played.
You sound like Anthony Edwards with the ping pong thing, right, at the Olympics when he said he'd win a gold medal. I love that. Yeah, I mean, every team has to have a guy like that, right?
I mean, I think everybody should be like that. You should have a little wired edge too.
Yeah, so. But see, like Paul Rovnak, communications guy who's here, he's no good at ping pong, so there's no way he could do it. So how is he supposed to have an edge at that?
I would beat Koi.
He thinks he beat him. Oh, now we got a little challenge here. Very good, very good. That would maybe we get a little side table tennis action over here. That confidence. You come from a family of athletes, right? Your dad played football. Your mom was a track athlete, both at the college level. Your brother's a college player at Minnesota State. At what how did that maybe shape? One, your skill set. Obviously, there's some hereditary things there coming from a line of athletes. But two, just that confidence level in terms of maybe them coaching you or helping you along, starting you at a young age.
Yeah, I think everything I did, it was competitive. If it was from my brother to my cousin, we grew up together. So, we would be playing basketball one-on-one. I would win every time. Don't worry. Yeah, Mason never stood a chance, neither did Carter, but it was super fun just be able to compete against those guys day in and day out because, we're siblings at the end of the day, but also I ain't trying to lose, so
yeah,
they ain't either. It was always fun.
Let's talk about that game again the other night. How challenging was that USC pass package? That was a passing game that was averaging almost 300 or was over 300 yards a game. And did you find yourself at any point out there holy crap, I'm playing the USC Trojans?
Honestly, no. I don't think the logos get into my mind. I never let that seek in. You're playing a human across from you at the end of the day, and they got to make plays too. So
Yeah. How much have you also adjusted, maybe not in terms of, like at the high school level, how much film study, for example, would you put in? Because I'm guessing you were so much better than a lot of players, maybe you could rely more on just pure skill and talent, where maybe that's not as much now. So how much has that changed, and how much film work do you put in during the week? How much did you watch USC to know that that pass play might be going to number 2?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I grew up, I always like watching film. I think that's a crucial part in football, and if you're not able to watch film, you're not going to be good at football. But, like, I think we prepare better than anyone else in the country, and we have a super good – my coach, Danny Collins, is, I think, one of the best coaches to getting people prepared in the country. And our defensive staff is just crazy. I mean, we have the best defensive coordinator in the country, and Corey Heatherman. And just be able to trust those guys day in and day out, they'll get you right. I mean, we go and we meet every day. You have to practice just to make sure that's good, and obviously you do the unrequired time too.
You had a forced fumble earlier in the game, right? It was heading close to halftime. Walk me through that play.
Yeah, I saw the ball carrier. He didn't see me. And whenever that you get that opportunity, you always know that they're not expecting you. And what we say is when you fumble, it's the guy you don't see. And he obviously didn't see me, so I just put a hat on the ball, and it went my way this time, and we got it. Just hopefully I can do it again.
Your punt return at Michigan, another highlight, and you've had a couple of other good punt returns as well prior to that, but that was the one that you kind of found a seam and broke through and helped kind of lead that rally in the fourth quarter to put the offense in good position. Take me through that one too. So the punt's in the air, and what are you thinking, and what are you looking for as a punt returner?
Yeah, whenever I'm at punt return, I always like to count it out. Just 1,001, 1,002. And if you watch enough film, you know like how far the gunners are going to be at that time. And then if you could just be able to read all your blocks, because that play, the blocks in that play were insane. If you go back and watch it, just really focus on a different person each time. A different person made a play. Like, it wasn't just me. It's an 11-man team, and everybody has to do a job with that team.
And down the sideline you went. All right, so I got to ask you too, on the play, you're out of bounds, but they never did tackle you. So then you run into the end zone, and it looks like you're grabbing your thigh or quadricep and limping a little. So you scared me for a moment. Was there an injury, or was that part of your celebration on a big return?
No, I would never celebrate like that. I strained my quad during pregame.
Gotcha.
But
it's all good now, obviously. I mean, you're fighting through it.
Yeah,
playing through it. Very good. Well, I was worried. I'm like, I hope that's nothing serious here. And there was it Justin Jefferson, I think, who a year ago he caught a touchdown and faked an injury, like he was holding his hamstring. So I thought maybe when it was all said and done, because you stayed in the game, you made a couple of more plays. I'm like, maybe that was. So I had to ask if that was just part of a celebration that you would come up with or not on a big punt return. But I'm not suggesting you do that. That's not an endorsement that would be a good celebration at all. PJ Fleck has said multiple times when asked about you, what he admires, among many things, is that you love football. Walk me through why you love football. What about football is good to you?
I think I've grown up with football my whole life. I mean, any time it's been like introduced to me, like from a young age, I've always had a love for it. I mean, I used to watch the Vikings every time they were on, and then I would watch the 3 o'clock game, then the 7 o'clock game, every single time on Sunday. So I just grew up with that in my life, and it's always just transitioned. I've always wanted that to what have those players had, and just that's what I'm trying to achieve.
You have the big win, you and your teammates, against USC. So now it's off to California this week. It's early in the week here. We're recording this on Tuesday afternoon. You'll have a Wednesday, a Thursday, and then a Friday practice, and then the flight out there. How do you guys maintain and push forward without human nature creeping in to, prevent some sort of a letdown or some sort of a we've arrived kind of situation?
Yeah, I think our team is really good at just pushing past that. I mean, we're very tunnel-minded. We're focused on UCLA already. I mean, we already put this week past us. Obviously, it was a big win, and we knew we were capable of doing that. We knew we were capable of doing that since the start of the season, but it finally showed. And now we just got to keep showing that, and UCLA is our next goal, and we are already preparing our best, and our full focus is on them.
Yeah, and as a guy who is confident, as you mentioned, you mentioned it's behind you, but can you pull that momentum or that confidence with you, though, into this weekend and use it as a continuing process forward?
Yeah, I mean, we still walk around with that swagger. Like, we're good. I mean, and we know we're good, and we're going to come into that stadium knowing that we're going to win that game.
Yeah. Is there anything special for you about playing in that venue? You think about the Rose Bowl Stadium. It's in California. You got the mountain range over there. Or is this a business trip to go win a football game in the Big Ten?
I mean, obviously you're going to enjoy it, but I've never been to Cali before. But I'm here to play football.
Yeah.
And I just think it's another place. I mean, just be able to go across the country play a football game, it's just a luxury.
Yeah.
And I really am looking forward to that, but we're going to go win that game.
Yeah, let's go get that one. We got to take a quick moment here to mention one of our sponsors, and then we want to get some more here with Koi Perich. Affinity Plus is your local credit union, proudly serving Minnesota since 1930. If you're a current Gopher student or a proud Gopher alum, you are eligible to join a financial that wants to build a meaningful banking relationship and put you first. You can meet with a local employee at any of their branches statewide, including one right here near campus on University in Minneapolis. To learn more and find other ways to connect, go to affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA. People-centered banking, perfect for Gophers. And as part of their sponsorship of the show here each week, they sponsor the player profile. So they've got a nice gift card for you, and we thank them for their support and enjoy the gift card.
Oh, I will.
Now, speaking of that, NIL has changed some things. Even in recent years, you've got a webpage, right, with some cool merchandise stuff. To tell me about that and how people can get to the webpage. I mean, someone wants to buy a Koi Perich T-shirt or a hat, or I don't know what else is all on it, but tell me about it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that we're able to do that now. And obviously, I posted on my Instagram and Twitter about there's a link that you can click to go get a jersey if you want, or a shirt. I think it's really cool. I mean, just be able to see people with your name on it in the back in the stands. I think that's super cool, and anybody should be able to have that. So just be able for everyone to have a jersey, I think should.
Yeah. So what's your Twitter and Instagram handle if people want to go track that down? One, maybe to follow you, and two, to find the link to your merchandise webpage.
Just Koi Perich.
Easy enough.
Koi,
and Koi is KOI.
KOIPERICH, 3 letters. Yes.
3 letters, KOI. Very good. 3 letters like your number on the back. The Bad Moms Club has gotten some publicity, so I can't have you on the Go Gopher podcast and not ask you about the Bad Moms Club. So I'm going to leave it open ended. Talk all you want about it. What is the Bad Moms Club?
Yeah, it started off my sophomore year of high school. It was just a bunch of these moms that were seniors on the team. They were all, the kids were all super connected. They all grew up together, and the moms kind of took part of that, and they always meet up. They're crazy. They are crazy.
And your mom is part of the Bad Moms Club.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to ask them. They got their own stories about what they do. They get out. If you want to have a fun time, go hang out with them.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a reality TV show should be in the offing here for the Bad Moms of Esko or something, right? That'd be quite a Netflix episode or something.
I'm sure they're going to be tailgating next week. So.
Yeah. So have they, as a group, then come down to watch you guys play?
Yeah,
and hang out?
Little by little, each of them a couple will come here and a couple will come there. So they're all friends and they all hang out. So.
Yeah, awesome. We mentioned your parents are athletes, and they went to college in North Dakota, right? Are they from there?
My mom's from North Dakota. My dad's from Esko.
And so then they met there, and then back to Esko, and here you guys are. Basketball. You played basketball in high school.
Uh-huh.
I know there was when a lot of kids, when they get recruited, they enroll early, right, at the school in January and start that early. You said no. You want to hang out with the guys you grew up with, right? Play basketball. Take part in the spring of your last year in Esko. Why was that important? And walk me through how that semester went.
Looking back at it now, I wish I didn't, but I'm gonna say I had a fun time. I mean, I always enjoyed basketball growing up, and I was able to score my 2,000 point this last season. But able to play with those guys, and we wanted to go to the state for one time. I've never been there for basketball. We've gotten beat by the same team 4 years in a row. Shout out Pequot Lakes.
You sound bitter though.
Oh yeah, I can't stand them. But but yeah, they're a really great team, and they beat us every single year. They had a good game plan. They just beat us. And then I really love track. That was the reason why I stayed. I really wanted to go back and win all 4 state titles because I got hurt my junior year, and I would have won all 4. And then I got hurt my senior year again, so I never got the opportunity to show what I could do.
Yeah, and you had won a state title in the long jump?
Yeah, my first year of track, I won a state title in long jump. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just running up on the board.
Yeah, and what was your career best?
It was like 22 something. I don't remember what it was.
So you got the long jump at 22 something, the vertical of 40. How many dunks did you have in high school in basketball?
I had a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Would you say you averaged 1 or more a game?
I think it was probably maybe half a dunk a game. I would get one every often.
Yeah. And so you also told us that you wrestled as a youngster and you never lost.
I did lose. I'd actually had this argument with a wrestler a while ago. Actually, 2 days ago.
No kidding.
Yeah, I said I could beat him. But I really respect wrestlers and the fighting industry, and I know what they can do.
Yeah.
Obviously, it goes back to my confidence part.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I lost a few times, but I think my wins to pin ratio was really high. I have it written down somewhere. I'll try to get it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So if you'd have stayed with wrestling as opposed to moving on to basketball, do you think you'd have won a state title?
Yes. There was a kid, he's from Proctor, Zach McPhee. I used to wrestle him all the time, and he actually won a state title.
Yeah, and you would beat him?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you can't do both, right? You can't wrestle and play basketball.
Yeah, he's obviously really good. So this is when we were little.
Little. So yeah, maybe he's progressed, but you never know if you stay with it where it goes. Did you at what point did you make the decision from wrestling to basketball then, or did you play both as a youth? Because maybe there was time to do it back.
Yeah, I think I played both when I was super young, but then when I got older, I was ready to be done with wrestling, and I fully moved to basketball. I think around like 3rd grade.
Gotcha. And your conversation, was that with a Gopher wrestler?
It was.
And you were trying to tell him that you'd beat him now?
Yeah, he's in the lowest weight class. He's 125. So
yeah, well, you'd have to cut some weight.
No. I get a fight on at 215.
Yeah. Well, that would be a good advantage for you. It'd be a good match. Maybe we could do an NIL version of. You mentioned you were into wrestling and fighting. Is that the mixed martial arts stuff? Or are you into that?
Yeah, I love UFC.
So you watch that a lot?
Yeah.
Do you have a guy that you follow? Or
I like John Jones, but he hasn't fought in so long. But he's been my favorite for a long time.
Yeah, and that's usually, and then there's usually weekly stuff that you could watch, and then every month or so there's some big ones.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, the guy, obviously, Alex Pereira. I mean, he's been lighting it up.
Yeah,
he's been one of my favorite guys to watch.
Do you think wrestling, even as a youth, helped you in your mentality in terms
100%.
of football?
I think if you really wanna, you go see what they do. I mean, to be a wrestler and to be a UFC fighter, you got to have a different mindset.
Deal, right?
Like, that's a totally different mindset. I think I got an inch of it. So
yeah, and so that helped as a youngster in develop that. Yeah, that's wrestling's a whole different mentality. That's for sure. Also, PJ Fleck said a couple of weeks ago that he was up visiting, watching you play high school football. I don't know if it was a punt return or a handoff or a pass that. You're on your way to score a touchdown, and you either talk to him as you're running down the sideline or motioning. So we want to confirm if that was a true story and what you said to him.
Yeah, it was a true story.
You're running down the sideline, ready to score.
Yeah, I got a video of it. It's me. I got a pick 6. I just picked it off, and I saw him and Danny Collins. They're all just, and I pointed at him, and I just smiled at him on the way down.
How many pick sixes did you have in high school? Do you know?
I do not know that. I kept maybe 5.
How about career touchdowns? Do you know that?
I had 27 my senior year. I think like 27 my junior year, and like 10 or something my sophomore
10th
year.
grade. So you're up over 60 some career.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. I'm not for sure on those stats.
You lose track after a while. I get it. As part of the whole thing, how proud are you to represent Esko now as a Gopher? And I mean, the publicity that your town has gotten this week based on your play. You're not just talking about play as a whole, but also the play that you seal the game with. So, what's the pride level for you to be representing your town?
Yeah, I love Esko. I mean, that's the place where I've grown up my whole life, and just be able to represent. I mean, I know the people. Like, there's only like a few thousand people there, so you know pretty much everybody. So it's just pretty cool. Just know like everybody in that town.
Are you able to get a sense now, being a couple hours away, of? I'm sure there's a buzz. Any small town that has something exciting like this happening, have your parents or relatives or friends said, you know, what kind of buzz there is running through town?
Not much. I mean, I'm gonna go back there here soon, but there's not. I don't know what they would say to me. But.
What going back to the recruiting process now? You had multiple offers. Obviously, you're one of the top players in the country. Walk me through all of what was running through your mind. It was a long process because you were skilled at such a young age. People were looking at you as a young player. So the process of the recruit, and then the process that said, "Yep, I'm going to stay home and play at Minnesota."
Yeah, I think the recruiting process was super long. I mean, I think it was over like 2 years. And just when you have that many people in your ear for that long telling you how good you are and how much they want you, and I mean, it can get to your head. So, like, I obviously just try to, like, let that go and just have a very unbiased decision on where I wanted to go. And ultimately, I wanted to go to the NFL, and I thought Minnesota had the best chance to get me to the NFL. That's why I picked them.
Yeah, and there's been safeties that the Gophers have produced. Safety was your position, certainly of the future, even though you played multiple positions in high school. So that was part of it?
Oh, yeah. I think safety, I mean, they put safeties in the NFL. Yeah. I mean, Antonio Winfield Jr. is the highest paid in the history. And then Tyler Newman just got drafted, and he's been balling. So.
Yeah. Howden as well. Howden makes the interception in that big Penn State game, maybe 10 feet, 12 feet from where you make the interception, same end zone and everything. Do you recall that game much? Do you remember watching that Penn State game?
No, I've never been a college football fan, so I didn't start watching college football until like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't watch that game.
It's funny. And now here you are making all these great big plays. You mentioned wrestling maybe set some of that groundwork for you. Do you think small town also put maybe a chip on your shoulder or a little bit of a competitive nature to prove to people that, you know, guys from that small town can make it?
People sleeping on the small town. I mean, everyone's a human at the end of the day. Like, I really hope people understand that. Like, everybody can be whoever they want to be, and that you just have to have a good mindset. And it doesn't matter if you're from Texas or northern Minnesota.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And here you are. All right, some quick ones. Favorite music? Like, if we clicked on your phone where you might listen to music, what kind of music would we see?
Rap. Yeah.
Favorite artist?
I'm listening to like Lil Wayne, Travis Scott. I like that.
Yeah, very good. How about, are you binging anything right now, TV-wise?
No, I don't watch TV.
You do not watch TV. So what are your hobbies? What do you spend if it's not watching game film or practicing, going to class, homework? What when you have some free time?
I play video games. I'm a big gamer.
Yeah. And that's not on. I mean, with your age group, that I would think is pretty common. What are your games? What do you like to play?
I've been playing 2K right now, a little Rainbow, a little college football. Best college football player on the team. I'll stand by that.
You are. I was going to ask about that. So you can beat anybody on the video game, and then do you play yourself? Is that kind of cool to have a team that might have your?
I might play myself just like one time. I got to pick with myself, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you ever played against someone that has you on their team?
I have not. I wish. I gotta get a little better to get that.
I think that would be kind of weird, right? You're watching and you're playing somebody online, and all of a sudden you throw an interception to yourself, right? Hey, that's me that just intercepted me. That would be crazy. Do you fish?
I like fishing. I'm very bad at it. I mean, but I do like just going there. And whenever you get to catch a fish, it's very exciting.
Yeah, there is a little adrenaline rush when you hook one. There's no doubt.
I love to golf. That's one of your? Are you pretty good? No. I mean, I shot 80s twice this summer.
Okay, that's not too bad.
It's not good.
Well, let's work on it. Let's get going on that.
I just bought I got me some clubs.
New clubs.
We're gonna work on.
That'll help.
I've been playing for 2 years, so
yeah. He's been playing 2 years and he's in the 80s now, right? That's great. I've been playing like 40 and I'm in the hundreds still. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Hey, we'll let you go. You got a UCLA game to prep for. It's been fun to hear more about your background. It was such a fun time last week watching, and I know there's many more memories on the way, so thanks for coming on the Go Gopher Podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate it for having me.
It's episode 142, Koi Perich, Esko, Minnesota. My thanks to Gopher freshman football star Koi Perich of Esko. He's been so good on the field, and this week was so good off the field on the Go Gopher Podcast. Episode number 142 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. We're also partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Affinity Plus, banking for Minnesotans, with you from Pee-wees to the pros. Cub is a proud supporter of Gopher Athletics for over 20 years and a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm. Cub, bigger savings on the items you love. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please be sure to click that subscribe button right now on the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. And please share the link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. And if you've enjoyed the podcast, please offer up some positive feedback on your social media channels. We'll talk again next week.